Welcome to Mrs. Bays' 6th grade math video lesson. This lesson we're going to focus our attention on identifying and finding factors, and this is the second video in the prime factorization series. Please do not use a calculator, but you may use your multiplication chart. Let's begin by looking at our vocabulary. Factors. Well, factors are numbers we multiply together. A prime number is a number that has only two factors. A composite number is a number that has more than two factors. And factor pairs means that that's two numbers we multiply together at a time. Meaning we only multiply two numbers to get the answer, not three numbers or four numbers, just two numbers. Well, let's take a look at how do we identify and find factors of a number or a product. We're going to do this in two steps. Step one, we're going to make a chart. And step two, we will list the factors in order, so from smallest to largest. Let's begin with the number 11. So notice number 11, I have it on top, and all I'm going to do right now is just make a chart, and what I'm looking for are my factor pairs, meaning what times what gives me 11. Well, that would be 1 times 11. Is 11. Are there any other factor pairs that I can use that would get me 11? Well, the answer is no. So if I look back at the hundredths chart that we looked at in the last video, we will notice that 11 is highlighted, meaning that it is a prime number and it should only have two factors. And here we see it does have only two factors. So we made the chart, which is quite small here. Now let's list the factors in order. So to do that, we write the number 11 and then a colon, and we list the numbers in order from smallest to largest. So that means we have 1, comma, and 11. That's our answer. Now let's look at number 2, the number 12. What would be the factor pairs for 12? Well, I recommend we always start with the smallest prime number. Well, 1's not considered prime because 1 times that number will always give you that number. So in this case, it's 1 times 12. 1 isn't considered to be prime, but 1 times 12 is considered to be a factor pair. So that's where I recommend you always begin, 1 times whatever number you've been given. Now let's go to the next prime number. That's the number 2. 2 times what will give us 12? That's 6. 2 times 6 is 12. Are there any other factor pairs that would give us 12? Well, 3 is a prime number. 3 times what would give us 12? Well, 3 times 4 is 12. Are there any other factor pairs that would give us 12? Well, 4 is composite. We could do 4 times 3. 6, but that's 6 times 2. We already have that one written. And then 12 times 1. Well, we already have that one written. You don't have to rewrite those. So these are our factor pairs for 12. Notice that 2, and I'm going to mark these, that 2 and 3 are our prime numbers in the first row of my hundreds chart. Now let's list those in order. So we write the number 12 and we use a colon after it, and we're going to write these numbers in order. So what that means is let's start at the top of the left side, and we're going to write 1, we're going to go down, so that would be 2 and 3. And then we're going to go to the right side of the chart, and let's go up. So that would be 4, 6, and 12. And that's the answers for 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12 are the factors in 12. All right, let's look at 36. 36. Well, let's start with 1 times 36. That'll give us 36. Well, 36 is an even number, and I know that because it ends in 6, which is an even number. So I know I can use 2. 2 times what is 36? Well, it's 2 times 18 is 36. Well, can I take 36 and divide it by 3 evenly? Well, the answer is yes. So it's 3 times what is 36? And the answer to that is 12. Next, we need another factor. Do we have any other factor pairs for 36? Yes, 4. 4 times what is 36? 9. 4 times 9 is 36. Are there any other factor pairs for 36? Yes. 6. 6 times what is 36? Well, that's 6 times 6. In the case where you have the same number on both sides of this table, you know you're finished. You don't have any other factor pairs. So let's list these in order from smallest to largest. We're going to start with writing the number 36 with a colon. We start on the top left of this chart, and we're going to go down. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. And then when I go to the right side, I have another 6. Do I have to write it a second time? No, I don't. So then I need a comma, and I'm going to write 9, 12, 18, and 36. These are our factors in the number 36. Well, let's look at the last example, and that's the number 31. So like I said before, let's always start with 1. It's not a prime number, but it is a number that you can multiply by any other factor to get that number. So this is 1 times 31. 1 in this number, it's the last digit, is odd. So can we divide it by 2? No. Well, it's an odd number, so a lot of odd numbers can be divided by 3. So can we take 31 and divide by 3 evenly? No. Well, next number is 4, but if I couldn't divide it by 2, I can't divide it by 4. So that means 31 only has 2 factors. Well, let's refer to the hundreds chart again, and let's look at 31. 31 is a prime number, so it should only have 2 factors. So let's list the factors in order. So we start with 31 and a colon, and we just list them in order, so that would be 1, 31. So let's just take a moment and let's go back and just label each of these examples as either prime or composite. Let's look at number 1. 11 has only 2 factors. That means 11 is a prime number. Let's look at example number 2. It's a 12. Well, look at this. In our table, we have 3 pairs of factor pairs. Well, that's more than 2, so that means that 12 is composite. Example number 3 is the number 36. Look at our chart. We definitely have more than just 2 factors. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 factor pairs. So 36 is definitely composite. And our last example, number 4, is 31. And notice we only have 1 factor pair, which means 2 factors only. That means 31 is a prime number. Let's look at what practice I would like for you to do in this lesson. First, I want you to go to IXL, 6th grade, and do E.4. And you should see the words identify factors. The second one I want you to do is IXL E.5, and you should see the words find all the factor pairs of a number. This second practice, E.5, is where you want to look at creating the tables that I showed you just a moment ago. Please remember, 80% will give you full credit, and 100% will give you a bonus point. Good luck!